Hey guys, I am so excited to make these freezer meals. This is a pre-recorded class, so if you want the freebie with all of the recipes, the shopping list, the labels, click the link in the description below and I'll send it to you via email. Let's go ahead and get started. Hey, thank you so much for joining me today. I am Kelly from the Family Freezer, and I'm so excited to show you how to make 12 healthy freezer meals from ingredients at Costco. Where are my Costco lovers at? Do you love Costco? Are you trying to get motivated to stock your freezer? Maybe you like this idea and you're like, okay, I need some extra energy and excitement. I'm bringing it today. Or maybe you're one of my members and you're here for new recipes and just looking for some new inspiration. I got you too. I have to show you, this is your freebie. After class, I'm going to send this to you. Look in your email, look in your spam, because it is coming, I promise you. And you're gonna want this, it's pure gold. It has all of the recipes that I'm making today. They're super simple, super organized. A full shopping list, organized by section at Costco. Even the labels that you can print and put on your bags. So I'm a little crazy, I actually did sticker labels. You can just print on regular computer paper, tape to your bags with clear shipping tape. Or you can even write on your bags. These are reusable, so I didn't write on them. But Sharpie, that works too. So this is your freebie. It's really great. Check your email. I know a lot of people here are already members of our site. Thanks. Thanks for joining me. I love that people come again and again. But if you haven't joined yet, I hope you can stay to the end because I'm going to share a coupon code with you. I know you're going to want to join after you see how easy these meals are to make. Let's jump in, right? Let's get started. Okay. So recipe number 1 is honey garlic chicken. It's a really great recipe, and I want to tell you how this is going to work. I am going to make 3 freezer bags of each recipe. I went to Costco, I picked 4 recipes that I've written that are amazing and delicious, and you're gonna love them. And then I thought, let's make 3 bags of each, so that way we take advantage of those bulk ingredients. I don't want you to buy these huge things of carrots and have no idea what to do with them, or have cans and cans and cans of black beans in your pantry for the next year. We're gonna use them today in our meals. So we're gonna do 3 of each, and I'm gonna add the meat at the end. So working in an assembly line, meal number 1, honey garlic chicken. Let's add our soy sauce. It is 1/4 cup. You don't need to write these down because they will be in your freebie that I'm sending out after class. I want you to just relax right now, enjoy. Maybe you're having a snack, maybe put your feet up, drink a cup of tea. You can just let me do all the work. Let me do all the work now, and then you can make these meals later. So then I'm gonna add 1/4 cup of honey. I'm just gonna squeeze that. Oh, I might need both hands. This is a big thing of honey from Costco. I'm gonna put this in here. And I wanna point out what sets these meals apart from anything else you see online. Now, and that is they are all frozen raw. That's right. When I talk about my method of freezer cooking, it is everything frozen raw. You're gonna watch me. I'm gonna add the sauces, the seasonings, the spices, the meat. Everything goes into the bags raw. That means they're so quick and easy to make. You won't believe how quickly these meals come together. And whenever I cook them, they taste exactly like a freshly prepared meal. They don't have that leftover taste that a lot of people don't like. They're gonna taste fresh, they're gonna taste delicious, exactly like a home-cooked meal without all the stress. So that is huge. I also try and keep my recipes really simple. Most are 10 ingredients or less, and I care about them being healthy too. It's not just about convenience. Like convenience, you can go to the drive-thru. I want them to be healthy. So those are the things I'm thinking about whenever I have written these recipes, and I've been writing them for a long, long, long time now. Looks like we have our honey. Now we are going to add sesame oil. Now I didn't buy this at Costco. I bought almost every single ingredient at Costco, but I love the sesame oil in this recipe. If you're in a pinch, you can use olive oil, but the flavoring of this is so good that I really would use it if you can. Just buy it at your local grocery store if you don't already have some on hand in your pantry. Just gonna make sure I add this to every single meal. I'm adding 2 tablespoons of it. Okay, I'm gonna add 2 tablespoons of ketchup. If we haven't met before, hi! It's nice to meet you, I'm Kelly. Welcome to my house, welcome to my kitchen. I got started with these freezer meals a long, long time ago. It was actually 10 years ago. Like what?
feel like I'm getting so old now. So 10 years ago, I had a 2-year-old daughter and a baby. And I remember at the time just feeling like so busy. I was working, I was taking care of my daughters, I was trying to keep my house semi-clean, I was trying to cook dinner. And it felt like there was never enough time for all the things I really wanted to be doing. So I'm good at organizing. And I thought, what if I got organized with my meals? I had been making these like easy crockpot recipes. And I thought, well, they're just going in my crockpot raw. Why couldn't they be good in the freezer raw and then cook later? And it was just like this light bulb moment because I thought if I didn't have to cook, what could I do every single day instead with that half an hour or that hour at dinner time? I could be taking my girls outside to play. I could go for a walk. I could call a friend. I could see my husband when he got home from work, sit down and be like, hey, how was your day? And it felt like the entire world would open up to me if I didn't have to cook dinner every night. So that weekend, I bought the ingredients for 5 of my recipes. I made them. We ate them the next week for 5 dinners. And like, it was literally life-changing. It worked. And that's why I am still doing it 10 years later. Like, if you're looking for some kind of answer, this is it. Like, it really works over time. This isn't some kind of like quick fix. It's not going to be something you do for a week, a month, and you just can't sustain it. This works over and over and over again. Now, I just added the seasonings, and that included onion powder, garlic powder, salt, pepper, and crushed red pepper flakes. I mixed those up before class. I knew I was going to be sharing a lot of stories with you. So I mixed that up, and then I just put it in each bag. These are going to be really flavorful. This is a great, great recipe. So I already added that, and all we need is the chicken, and I will add that at the very end. Now, I wanted to tell you, I have some experiences like testimonials and comments from people who have tried my recipes. So I want to share those because it's one thing for me to tell you they're great. It's something else for other people who are really making these and making it work for them. So Teresa messaged me and said, I became a member after watching one of your videos. I hate cooking. I wasn't good at it, but now I make stress-free dinners that my family loves. Plus, I just spent $127 yesterday for 8 or 9 meals, which is a huge savings for us, and there is no food waste. I have thrown away so much food that I bought to make a recipe and didn't get the chance to, and it went bad or had so much left over, no one ate it. Isn't that the worst? I hate that too. So Teresa, I'm glad that these are working for you. I'm glad that you found that there really isn't food going to waste, because that's important to me too. And I'm thinking about the people today who are maybe looking for the motivation to make their first meal. Is that you? Like, I was just thinking today before this class, there's people out there who are like, I want to make my first meal. I was talking to my neighbor the other day and she said, I know this is going to work for me. I'm really excited about it. I just have to actually do something. I have to make one. And so what I want to tell you is you just got to make that first meal. If you don't want to make all 12, you don't have to. You can. If you have that excitement, go to Costco, buy everything. But if you don't, even make one. Even pick that honey garlic chicken and you could like make it fresh or double that recipe. Here's what you do. Okay, you go to your honey garlic chicken recipe. I emailed it to you. You order the ingredients for 2 of them. You make one for dinner tomorrow or next week. And at the same time, you put the ingredients in a bag and you freeze it. And then you're going to eat it for dinner. You're going to be like, whoa, this is amazing. I'm so glad I have one in my freezer. And then you're going to eat it again over the next 3 months. So you're not going to be sick of it. So I really want to encourage you to like get going, like just give it a shot. I know once you get started, you're going to get hooked.
I'm going to interrupt myself for 1 minute to tell you about our family freezer VIP site. If you're ready to change your life with my style of freezer meals that can be frozen raw, a membership to our VIP site will be your best friend. I see VIP as the most expansive collection of easy and healthy freezer recipes online and the tools you need to actually make them work in your life. With VIP, you can filter all of my healthy freezer recipes based on protein, keyword, cooking method, diet, and more. You can even combine filters to drill down on the exact type of meals that you want to make. These are delicious meals that you are going to love sharing with your family and friends. You can auto-generate shopping lists that you can print or save to access later on your phone. One of my favorite features of VIP is a full class library with videos of all of the cooking classes that I've taught over the past 3 years that you can watch on demand and download the freebies. I honestly think everyone can benefit from freezer meals, whether you're making them every week, every month, or even every few months. We have tens of thousands of members worldwide, and if you want to join us, just go to thefamilyfreezer.com/VIP and enter this coupon code to save 20% off the sign-up fee.
Recipe number 2 is teriyaki pork loin. I love this. This was in one of my cookbooks. And this includes soy sauce. So I'm gonna do 1/3 cup. I really was trying to use as much of those ingredients from Costco as I could while varying the flavor and the taste. I know a lot of people think crockpot recipes are mushy, they're bland, they all taste the same. I've heard it all. Is that you? Is that your partner, your kids? I get it. And I think the problem is there are a lot of bad recipes out there. Like, I hate to say that, but I've tried recipes on Pinterest, I've tried recipes on Instagram that were like total flops. So that's why I am bringing recipes to you today that are delicious, that I know you're going to love, because I want every single one you make to be a hit so that you make more. And that after the very first one, you're just so excited to keep going. Now I'm gonna add some water. I'm gonna add 2/3 cup to each bag. I don't normally add water to my meals, but it cuts down the sodium in the soy sauce. It also adds enough liquid that you could make this in your Instant Pot if you want. Every recipe has crock pot instructions, Instant Pot instructions. I even have grill instructions on our next recipe I'll show you. So lots and lots of options for how to cook these meals. All right, we added our water. Now we need ketchup, 2 tablespoons. Grab my tablespoon. What I love about making these meals at one time is you're only cleaning up once. So you're only going to have to put away the ingredients once. You only have to wash your cutting board once. You only have to put your teaspoon and tablespoon and measuring cup in the dishwasher once. It's really easy cleanup, but the fact that you're only doing it one time is a huge time saver as well. You're not cooking dinner and there's less cleanup. Adding this to each bag. Oh, sorry about that. This ketchup is noisy. Try and do it slower. There we go. And then I have to add some white vinegar. Okay, tablespoon of white vinegar. I will tell you, this is actually my second Costco class. I taught a class about Costco recipes over a year ago. It was my most popular class ever. Over 100,000 people have watched it. Maybe, is that you? Have you watched it before? It's a really good one. And I thought, you know what? We're doing another Costco class. People love Costco. Let's make some more meals. So I went back to Costco with the idea that I just wanted to look and see what they had and then pick like new recipes that really took advantage of their bulk ingredients, recipes that were tried and true, that I loved, that have been featured on my membership site. I have over 20 cookbooks at this point. Like, I mean, really, I told you this changed my life, but it changed my life in so many ways because I started sharing my recipes on my blog at the time. And what I found is it wasn't just me who had no time and was stressed. It's everybody. Everyone was feeling the same way. And people said, Kelly, more recipes, more recipes. So it became a full-time job for me, my husband. I wrote 20 cookbooks. We sold over $1 million in copies. Like, it just blew up. We had a viral blog post years ago that I think over 8 million people read. Like, that's like real viral, you know? And I just appreciated that encouragement. And I appreciate your encouragement too for being here today. For all the people who are already our members, thank you. I appreciate you more than you will ever know. We have, I think, about over 50,000 members now. And for the people who maybe saw a video of me on Facebook, on Instagram, making these meals and thought, hey, I'll give it a shot. Thank you. I appreciate you. Thanks for giving it a shot. I hope I make all your dreams come true. I hope you realize that these meals are really going to work for you and they're going to be delicious. I put the light brown sugar in here. This is the only recipe that includes any type of sugar. I don't use a lot of sugar in my recipes. I want them to be super healthy, but I find this teriyaki pork loin needs a little sweetness. So I added 1/4 cup. I'm okay with that. So each bag will have 6 servings. You're not even going to eat all of the liquid and the juice that's served with it. So like really the amount of sugar that you would end up eating is very minimal. My member site does have like full nutritional info if you needed that, but I think it's worth it in this recipe. It just makes it so good. And then we need to add our seasonings, which are onion powder, garlic powder, and ground ginger. So I mixed that up ahead of time so that I could just add it to the bag. And I'm just gonna measure that out. And it really is just a very, very flavorful dish. This is one I'm excited to eat again. And it's really, really good seasoning too. Like I was smelling this, like maybe that's weird. I was smelling this when I was prepping it. It smells so good. The ginger in it is awesome. You're gonna love this recipe. And what I was thinking when I picked these recipes is I wanted to make sure that I had a variety of tastes, of textures, of influences. So today we have like American influences, Asian, Mexican. I wanted you to be able to eat these meals in the same week if you wanted to. So what I would do is I would make these, so prep all 12, maybe eat one of each next week if you want. Take 4 nights off and just make 4. There's enough variety there. And you can like vary the side dishes or put some kind of topping on that's crunchy or whatever. And then over the next 3 months, you can eat the other bags. So you're not eating these every night. I know there's 3 of each, but we're just using up those Costco ingredients. You're not going to be eating the same thing every night for dinner. That is all we need for these. We're going to move on to recipe number 3, but just pointing out again, we're going to vary the side dishes. Every recipe has a suggested side dish. They're not going to be mushy. You're going to have different texture. Maybe add some rice with this teriyaki pork loin. I would do steamed broccoli. So simple. I use my little rice cooker from Amazon. I steam some broccoli because most of my kids will eat broccoli, which is a win. And then it's a really simple dinner. I wanted to tell you that some people had left comments of this on my member site. So I picked my favorites. Robin said, I made this last night for dinner. My family loved it. Woo! And Karina said, made this last night for the first time. It was so full of flavor, so tender. Even my 2 picky grandchildren loved it. I love the simple but healthy recipes. Me too. Anyone else? Simple and healthy? Yes, right? So I appreciate you. Anyone who's left comments, thank you. I do read your comments and I love them and they just motivate me to keep going. And I think they help other members too because they can read them before trying a new recipe on my site. So this is a winner. I know you're going to like this one. Let's go ahead and move on to our 3rd recipe, which is cilantro lime chicken. This is a great one. I love this recipe. Okay, so super simple too. We're going to do lime juice. So this is fresh squeezed lime juice. I already cut and squeezed a couple of them because I bought this bag at Costco. We're going to use them in another recipe in a minute. And I didn't want to be squeezing limes for the next 10 minutes. So I squeezed a couple. Now, when you buy your bag of limes at Costco, you are going to have some left over. Do you know what I would do is just like treat yourself and put it in your water. I already did that today. So before class, I was drinking a glass of water and I was like, you know what? I have that extra lime. I'm just going to like squeeze the lime juice. It gives a little extra flavoring to your water and it just like uses up the extra limes. And I've done that even at dinner with my kids. So if I have a couple extra limes, I would just at dinner time be like, who wants lime in their water? And they are just like, they're like, what? Like, is this a special occasion? We need to add our olive oil. I'm gonna add a 1/4 cup. Oh, if I opened it. I want to point out that these recipes will work for people with special diets. So most of my recipes are naturally gluten-free and dairy-free. I have recipes for paleo, keto. I'm going to do a vegetarian recipe for you in a minute. So there really are so many options and there are ways to make these your own. If you need to slightly modify them, please feel free to do that so that they work for you. But most of them will work for a lot of special diets. So what else do we need to add? Nothing. Oh, just the seasonings. Now, I wish you could see these seasonings because I didn't just have that little bowl of seasonings. I had to move up to the big bowl because there's so many. When I talk about these meals being flavorful, I mean it. They really are so packed full of flavor. And I think that you'll find that's what really sets them apart from other recipes that you see online. If you see a recipe and there's 1 teaspoon of seasoning, walk away, run away. It's not going to be good. I can tell you that now that I've written so many recipes over the years, I know that you need a lot of seasonings for it to taste good. So I'm going to add some of my mix here. I'm going to add a lot to each bag, at least a 1/4 cup. We'll see. I want to make sure they're even. It might be more than a 1/4 cup by the time I'm done. Let's see. I'm going to be brave and just kind of shake it over the bag. Oops. Okay, that might be the best one. And I'll tell you what seasonings I added. I added dried cilantro, chili powder, paprika, cumin, garlic powder, salt, and pepper. So very flavorful. This is a recipe that has been on my member site, so I have some reviews for you. Kim said this recipe makes the best copycat Chipotle bowls. I use Zatarain cilantro lime rice on the side. Add this yummy chicken topped with black beans, roasted corn salsa, cheese and sour cream, yum. And then Verily said, I learned about your site at 2 a.m. while surfing the web and joined immediately. I tested this recipe today using my crock pot. It was delicious. I served over rice and black beans and my son loved it. Yay! Verily, I'm so glad that that worked for you. But this is a really good one. I know you're going to like it. And anyone out there who loves saving money? Anybody else? Can anyone say no to that? I feel like everyone's like, yes, of course. So when I went to Costco, I ended up spending $148, and that was for all 12 meals, which works out to $12.35 per meal with 6 servings. You cannot beat that. Even if you add a side dish like rice, or if you're doing that steamed broccoli or maybe some lettuce for this recipe, it's still such an easy way to save money. We typically are saving over $200 a month when we're planning meals ahead of time. And, you know, I'm like kind of embarrassed to admit this, but we ordered Chinese food over the weekend and it was $78 like for one meal. Now, of course, like I paid for delivery, I paid a tip, and I have 5 kids. So that's like expensive, but just imagine like if you're eating more of these meals, eating takeout less or convenience foods, or just other things, like how much money you can save. It really does add up. And so I feel like mixing these in, everything in moderation, but mixing these in to your meal plan really does help a lot. Let's move on. I think we are ready for our last recipe, right? Our last one is a vegetarian tortilla soup. This is a recipe that I have recently just fallen in love with. It's so good. Let me grab my bags. I am using reusable bags during this class. I actually saved some of my older bags for this recipe because I'm going to put tomato sauce in it. Every so often the bags get a little stained. I don't think you'll be able to see this on camera, but these ones are like slightly stained. And that doesn't bother me. Like I'm just reusing them anyway, and I kind of use those stained bags for the tomato sauce recipes. Here's what we're adding to our vegetarian tortilla soup. The first ingredient is carrots. Now I bought these baby carrots at Costco. I actually got 2 bags of these. They were connected, but I'm gonna use them in our soup. It's just an easy way to sneak an extra veggie into this recipe. And I love buying baby carrots because even though there are some extra ones, my 3-year-old actually likes baby carrots. It might be the only vegetable she likes, but she likes them. So I didn't mind even having an extra bag of these on hand because she'll eat them and maybe it'll convince me to eat some too. So these are, since already peeled, they're just really easy to like quickly slice and add to the bag. This is a vegetarian recipe. I'm not going to add any meat, but I have tried this recipe before with chicken. And it's so good. So if someone in your family is a big meat eater, they will not eat vegetarian, I would just add some chicken breasts. They can be to the freezer bag. It could be the day of cooking. And then shred that chicken after cooking. It's really delicious in this meal. I think I did about 1 pound when I've done it that way. So we want to get about 1 cup of baby carrots in each bag. I'm just going to eyeball this. I'm going to add a couple more. I was talking to one of my friends the other day and she told me she's like, I'm not good at cooking. She knows I have a cooking business. This is what I do. And she's like, I'm just not good at cooking. Like, I get it, Kelly, you do that, but I'm not good. And I wanted to say, like, do you know my recipes? Because you don't have to be good at cooking to make these meals. They're so simple. You saw me make like almost like that marinated chicken and pork loin. Nothing is fancy. None of it's even done at the stovetop. So I don't even know if it counts as cooking per se, but so simple. So is that you? Are you scared of cooking, or maybe you don't enjoy it? If so, don't you worry. I got you with these recipes. I think these are great if you love to be in the kitchen. I'm kind of the person who likes to be in the kitchen. I love to bake. I love to cook, but I just don't have the time for all of it all the time. So whether that's you, or whether you're scared of cooking or just haven't had a lot of experience with it, I think these meals are going to work for you no matter what. Let's do a couple more in that first bag. I felt like I was skimping a little. It always helps to have a couple extra carrots in your meal. And so let's imagine life for a minute if you made all these meals. If you made 12, what would it be like? So first of all, if you make them in the crock pot, in the morning, you're just going to go ahead and take your bag, you're going to dump it into your crock pot, and you're going to turn it on. Like, no opening cans, no rushing to get something in there. It's just done. If you use the labels, then someone else will know if you have someone else starting the meal for you, or maybe you have a partner, a spouse, a teen who's putting these meals in the crock pot for you. They would know what to do too with the label. And then I'll do a cooking demo for you too in a little bit. But just imagine you're putting these in there, or maybe it's the end of the day, it's 3 o'clock, and you're like, what am I making for dinner? Like, I really don't want to have to go to the store, stop at the store. And you're like, oh, what about those freezer meals? I'll just put it in my Instant Pot and it'll be ready for dinner. So great. So then you're just putting it in there, and there's no cleanup. You already emptied every can. You already did all the measuring and everything. That's all done. If you have a reusable bag, you'll have to quickly wash it 60 seconds, but that's it. And then dinner is done. Like, you set it, you forget about it, and you have a healthy home-cooked meal. You can really easily just add maybe rice on the side or veggies. This tortilla soup, I said, on the recipe it says serve with top with shredded cheese, crushed tortilla tips, and guacamole. Those are simple. You don't have to cook those. You just serve them with it on the side. I'm going to put an onion in here. Now, the recipe calls for a red onion, but I decided to use these frozen onions. Let me grab a measuring cup here. I decided to use these frozen onions. These are my favorite time-saving hack. No need to cut onions and cry about it. You could just buy this little bag at your local grocery store from the freezer section. I bought it here for $1. So I tried to convince myself to get a big bag of onions at Costco, and I failed. I was like, I'm just going to buy one of those $1 bags and quickly add it. So I am subbing out my red onion for these regular white onions. Fun fact about me is I actually don't love red onions. I've eaten them in this soup before, but I just recently decided I don't love red onions, which is funny because I am not picky. I'll eat basically anything, but not that you cared to, now you know. Everything you never wanted to know about me. So we added the white onions, and then I need a lime for juice. I already juiced up those limes, so I'm just gonna add 2 tablespoons of juice to each bag. This is such a fun, like, Mexican flavor-inspired soup. And just a real crowd pleaser. I feel like everyone who's I've made this recipe so many times. I feel like everyone who's had it, like, loves it. Really good. Good for picky eaters. All right, let's add corn. Now, the recipe calls for frozen corn. I was at Costco. I saw their canned corn. It was a great deal. And I was like, for soup, it really doesn't matter. You could do canned corn. You could do fresh corn, cut off the cob. I've done that. You could do like the frozen corn that it calls for. It doesn't matter. I just thought this was a great deal at Costco, so I bought this. And I am using it. I had rinsed it. I opened my cans ahead of time, rinsed it, dumping it. What else? We have olive oil, 3 tablespoons of olive oil. Okay. I don't know if you've seen me all class, but I have been wiping my hands and my measuring spoons and cups on my apron. Now, I'm not a huge apron person, or I wasn't in the past, but then I was making freezer meals with my mom. We've made 28 at once. We made 40 once when I was pregnant with, I think, my fourth baby. And my mom saw me using like a whole roll of paper towels and just kind of like cleaning up and wiping things off as I go. And she said, why don't I just sew a towel onto an apron and you can wipe your hands and clean up as you go. And that was like life-changing. It's like, oh my gosh. So I wish I could stand up so you could see it. I'm not tall enough, although I will tell you there is so much mess on it right now. I've already wiped so much on it as we've been going. I really found this to be like essential while making freezer meals. And my mom ended up opening her own Etsy shop where she sells these. Like she has now sold, I think, over 1,000. She's only one person. Now she's been doing this for like over a year, like years. But you can buy them. There's a link in your freebie after class. If you want to buy one, I would buy it ASAP because she does sell out. She can only make so many, but she's just so good at sewing. And like, I love that she came up with something that helped me so much. And they're just so useful when you're making freezer meals. They make great gifts too. I've given it to friends before and they're just so fun to have it when you're making meals. All right, we're done with our carrots. What else do we need to add to this meal? Crushed tomatoes and then black beans. Now the black beans, I also bought these at Costco in bulk. I opened my cans ahead of time. I actually once had a class where my can opener broke. Not fun. So now I open them all ahead of time and I rinse and drain these too ahead of time. So that's done. And we have crushed tomatoes. These were a 3-pack at Costco. So I get to use all 3. I'm going to use them in our soup. Since I bought the corn and the black beans at Costco, and they came, I think, in packs of 8, so we do have some left over. Now, I use beans and corn in other recipes, like all the time, so I wasn't worried about having some left over in my pantry. But you could also add them to the cilantro lime chicken. I was thinking about how great it would be since we had reviewers who said I loved it with beans and corn. So I actually tried that last night. We had cilantro lime chicken that I had made before. And I added the corn and the beans right to the freezer bag. And it was so good. Like I would actually recommend it. So I'm not going to do that for all of my meals. I think I'm going to add... So I had opened these extra. I think I'm going to add beans and corn to one of them. I'm not going to do it to all of them because you can't grill it. It's up to you. If you're not going to grill it, if you know you're going to put it in the crock pot or the Instant Pot, you could add those beans and corn to every single meal just to use up more, like not have any leftovers from Costco. But it's up to you. These are your meals. Make them your own. I was even thinking it might be so good to add a block of cream cheese. So I have this salsa verde chicken recipe that's chicken, Mexican seasonings, and then black beans and corn. You cook it in the crock pot or Instant Pot. You shred the chicken, and then you just put a block of cream cheese on it. It melts. You mix it up. It's so good. It's like, and I'm like, I know this is going to work. So I think I'm going to do that with this one that I'm freezing. The other 2 we might grill or just want like shredded chicken. So I'll leave those that way, but it's totally up to you. Make these meals your own. Let's see. Oh, I know. So Dallas Wedding Photography messaged me, hey, Kelly, I have been a fan of freezer meals for years, but I don't do it consistently enough because it's not easy to find recipes. Well, no more. I'm so happy I discovered your membership site and you. This afternoon, I made 12 freezer meals. My grocery pickup was only $160, and it only took about an hour and a half to assemble them with the help of my 3-year-old. Just wanted to say how much I love your membership. So thank you for messaging me. I'm glad these meals are working for you too. I love hearing that. Let's see what else we need. Oh, this is my secret ingredient. The secret ingredient in this recipe is a chipotle pepper. These are those canned chipotle peppers in adobo sauce. Don't forget about this. You want to include this in your meal. It adds a little bit of smokiness to the recipe. It's one of those things, you're going to make this recipe and you're going to be like, what is that? Like I can taste something and it's so good, but like you maybe can't put your finger on it. It's going to be kind of like a smokiness that comes from these peppers. So I want to do 1 pepper. I'm trying to find the right size. I'm going to do 1 pepper in each. It's not super spicy. It's just very, very flavorful. Like I said, adds that smokiness. And you can freeze whatever's left in the can instead of those going to waste, you can just put those in a bag and freeze them. And then next time you make this soup, or if you make chili, this is really great in chili too. That way you would just always have some on hand for your recipes. It just like makes this meal so good. Is anyone cooking for like 1 or 2 people? Most of my recipes are written for 4 or 6 servings, but it's really easy to adapt if you're cooking for less people. What I recommend is splitting each recipe into 2 freezer bags. So that way you're still using all of the ingredients and you're getting double the meals. So that way, even a can of beans, you don't want to only use half a can of beans. You want to use the whole can, right? So you just take your can, you split it between 2 bags, you freeze it, you cook it in a smaller slow cooker, maybe 2 to 4 quarts, or a smaller Instant Pot, same cooking time. But that's just a really easy way to adapt for less people. Let's see if we have, I think all we have left are seasonings, which for this recipe are dried cilantro, I'm using that one again, salt, garlic powder, ground cumin, chili powder. We're gonna add, I'm like wondering if I can eyeball this. I think a little over 2 teaspoons to each one. Is that right? Oh no, 2 tablespoons. Whoops. All right. So this way, just a really flavorful, delicious meal. Dump what's left in. Perfect. We have our seasonings. And then from Costco, I bought, instead of vegetarian broth, vegetable broth, I bought this Better Than Bouillon base. I think this was like, I was gonna say $5 or something. It was very affordable and had so much in it. Like it can make so many cups of broth. So what I am gonna do is add 4 teaspoons to each bag, or I'm just gonna do a rounded tablespoon. And then add, the day of cooking, add 5 cups of water. So you would do 4 cups of water if you were just doing a broth equivalent. It's like 1 teaspoon to 1 cup broth, but I'm gonna do 5, just, cut down on the sodium, make it a little bit healthier. I think it's plenty of flavoring. So you can either do this, buy this at Costco, like I said, really affordable, and that way you don't need to add anything extra the day of cooking. You already have this in there. You just need water. You don't need to make sure you have broth on hand, or buy the vegetable broth. Like seriously, you can do whatever you want, whatever you like. These are gonna be your meals for your family, so totally up to you. I am using that, and then I think we are ready to seal all these, add the meat and seal them. So let me just, okay, I'm gonna wipe my hands on here and I'm gonna seal these. Since these are vegetarian meals, I'm just gonna seal them up, and then I'm gonna add my chicken and pork to the other recipes. I already made extra room in my freezer. So I'm actually gonna be able to fit all these in my regular refrigerator freezer. 12 meals is a lot for us. I mean, we have 7 people in our family. So, there's normally chicken fingers in there and ice cream and everything else, but we made room ahead of time. I have a deep freezer in my garage, so I can move them there after class. But even if you have an extra refrigerator with a freezer, that's huge. There were years and years and years I did that. One time I made 28 meals when I was pregnant with my 3rd daughter. They all went in our extra fridge freezer. So even if you have that, you can have so many meals because you're just gonna stack them flat. These bags are great. They don't rip, they don't tear, they don't stick together. These are actually our brand of freezer bag. It was one of those things where I was like testing bags over and over and over again. I spent years, so much money buying bags from other companies because I wanted a reusable option and could not find one. So eventually my husband and I figured, why don't we find someone to make them for us? And we now sell them. And for maybe the first time ever during a class, they are in stock. So if you want to buy these bags, you can. The link is in your freebie. No pressure. You don't have to, of course. It's just an option if you want to. Or maybe you've been making freezer meals for a while and you want to take it to the next level. It's nice because they're reusable, good for the environment, good for making these meals. All right, I'm gonna bring all our chicken bags over. I bought organic chicken from Costco. Each recipe says about 2 pounds. That's enough for 6 servings. If you want to do 3 pounds, go for it. I would leave the ingredients the same. If you even want to only add one pound, I think that'd be fine. I would just keep the ingredients the same and just only add 1 pound. That's a really easy way to adjust the servings and still without like adjusting the other ingredients. So I'm just gonna add these in. This might get messy. Hold on. All right, just gonna try and add. So what I'm doing is, since I bought this at Costco, instead of even guessing how much to add to each bag or figuring out exactly 2 pounds, I am just gonna do 2 packets. So I think I looked and they were about like a pound in each one of these little separate packets. And I'm gonna add those. So I'm gonna add 2 to each bag. Now, I'm not taking the time right now to trim off. There's a little bit of fat on these. I'm just gonna leave it and just trim it after cooking because you have to shred it anyway. So I'm fine with just doing that after I cook it. In both of these recipes, it really doesn't matter how many chicken breasts you cook with each one because I always end up shredding the chicken after cooking. So for the honey garlic chicken, I love to shred the chicken. My kids love it served that way. So it's not that you need a full chicken breast for each person, or if you have large chicken breasts, oops, am I doing the wrong one? Or if you have smaller, they're uneven. It really doesn't matter if you end up shredding it anyway. And that's same for the cilantro lime chicken. When we had that last night, we just shredded it. We always shred it every time. I think my 6-year-old son, he just loves shredded chicken. It's like no matter what I make, if it's shredded chicken, he will eat it, any seasoning. So I recommend doing that after cooking. And it works well for the grill too. So if you would decide to grill the cilantro lime chicken, you can just do the breast right on the grill. If it was cut up ahead of time, that would be harder to do. Just gonna keep going. I always wait to do the meat at the end so that it's not sitting out at room temperature for too long. These meals came together really quickly, so I think it would have been fine if it was sitting out, but you know, just in case, or if you were making a lot more meals at once, I normally wait till the end. Also, the great thing is you only get your hands messy once. You only get your cutting board and knife messy once. You don't have to worry about cross-contamination. So this is just like the safest way to make these meals. I want them to be, I really care about making them in a safe way, especially when you're handling raw meat. So I'm only gonna do it one time, touch it once, and then I will wash my hands before I do anything else. I know sometimes in the past people have asked me about washing the chicken. That's actually not recommended anymore. So now I think it's the idea that you could, if you wash it, you might get the chicken or potential salmonella like in your sink. So it's not recommended to wash chicken before cooking it. So it's better, I guess like recommendations change. It's better to just put it in this way. So like I said, we're dealing with all the mess at once. We're almost done with our chicken. What else? Oh, I wanted to tell you about our stands. So I told you about our reusable bags. We also have our brand, these reusable, this baggy stands are also made by us, the family freezer. And you'll know they're ours because they're white. I'm sure at some point someone will copy, but I love white. I just think it's so clean. It's so beautiful. It makes the food like really be the star of the show. So that's why our bags are white, the seal's white, the stands are white. I just love them. And they're really nice. They hold up the bags while you're filling them so that they're not dumping all over the floor. That did happen to me once, probably multiple times, but there's one memorable time when I was making a meal with spaghetti sauce. And I didn't have stands at the time. And I just was filling the bags, and the one bag like slumped and dumped and just went all over the floor. Like I could have cried. Maybe I did cry. It was terrible, and it just made a huge mess, and then I had to clean up the floor too. So that's what's nice about the stands. You don't need them. Just be careful. You could even use, sometimes people use like a bowl. They'll put them in a bowl and then fill them that way. That would be totally fine. Now I'm moving on to our pork loin for a teriyaki pork loin, and I'm just gonna trim. I'm not gonna go crazy, but I'm just gonna trim as much, at least like the big amounts of fat. I'm gonna try and just trim those off so that it'll just be a little bit easier to shred after cooking. This is a boneless loin. This was a great deal at Sam's Club, and it just looks so good. So not only is this a recipe that I've made many times before, it's been featured on my member site. I think it originally started in one of my cookbooks, but I also tested all of them from Costco. The very first time I went to Costco to get ideas for this class, I bought the ingredients so that I could also retest them. I'm a little crazy, but I just want to make sure everything is perfect for you in my classes. I don't leave anything to chance. So I tested them all again with the ingredients at Costco and just with what I thought would be best from Costco to see the cost and just like the taste again and what I liked. So I saw this pork loin and just immediately knew it would be great. And I think we have one left that we're going to eat over the next 2 days out of the 3 that I made when I was testing. So we'll eat that. And then we already ate all the other meals that I tried. They don't last very long in this house. And what I love about making them again is I'm more apt to share with friends. So if you know of somebody who could really use a meal right now, I would love for you to share one with them. So I know when you have 3, it's a lot easier to share than if you only have 1 of each, right? So I was already kind of brainstorming who could maybe use some of these meals. But we definitely will be eating them. We love them, and I'll be happy to not have to cook dinner. But it's always nice to share. I hear so many stories of people who make them for family members and friends and people at their church and anyone who's going through surgery or just a tough time. Grandmas who make them for their kids when they have new babies. There's just so many times when having these extra meals on hand can be so great. I'm gonna put this in the bag and wash my hands. So bear with me 1 minute. All right. Can you believe how quickly these meals came together? All 12 are done. I'm still gonna do a cooking demo for you. I will show you how to make them in your crock pot, in your Instant Pot, just a really simple explanation of how I make them. And I'll tell you too how I seal these bags. So I don't think you need any kind of special machine to get the air out of the bags. I just kind of seal them so you're maybe an inch or 2 to the end and then kind of squeeze the air out and flatten. It's almost like a vacuum seal. Like, it's great. And I've never had an issue with freezer burn. I know people worry about freezer burn. I don't think it's gonna happen. I've made so many meals and I do not have issues with freezer burn. Maybe we just eat them too quickly. I don't know. But definitely within 3 months, you don't have to worry about it, especially if you're sealing your meals. And I don't know. I'm not sure what's going on with the people who are having freezer burn issues. But I think you're gonna be just fine. Keep sealing these. There we go. Oh, I'm so excited to eat these. Thanks for making me teach another class. So now my freezer's stocked too. That's a huge benefit of this job, right? All right. So I'm gonna add these to my freezer. Now we just have our pork tenderloin. Now, I know a lot of people here are already members of our site. Thank you guys. I love your support. But for anyone who has not seen our member site yet, or maybe you are a member and you just want a refresher, I want to do a quick demo for you because this is really something that is one of a kind. Like I said to my husband years ago now, I said, can you take all my easy freezer meals, put them in one place, and then create a way that you could search the meals, figure out what you want to make, and then generate shopping lists. And he's like, yeah, I can do that. So we have Andy, we have our VIP. He made it happen. And I just feel like it's one of those things that doesn't really exist. And until you see it for yourself, you really don't understand how amazing it is. So I am going to grab my computer, grab my other mic, and just quickly show you how it works.
This is Family Freezer VIP. You can log in to see all of my recipes that can be frozen raw. And the great thing is 12 new recipes are added every month and you can see them here. Oh my gosh, they're so good. Let's go into an individual recipe so I can show you how they look. Let's go in here and you'll be able to see, again, the little photo and then the ingredients. These are all really simple recipes that tell you exactly how to freeze them later and then how to cook them. This is a crock pot or a grill recipe. I have a bunch of Instant Pot, a lot of crock pot mostly, but also air fryer we're adding, and so many options. Full nutritional info and a note section if you make the recipe and want to make a note for next time. I want to show you one of my favorite features of VIP, and that is our search. Oh my gosh. Okay, so we have predefined filters. So those are these little circle icons where I could look at all the crockpot recipes or the Instant Pot, chicken, beef, vegetarian, gluten-free, just these really quick predefined filters. You can also do keyword. So let's say I have a red pepper that I bought at the grocery store, or maybe my family really loves red peppers. You could type that in and then go ahead and see all the recipes that would feature red peppers. But the best search is our advanced search. This is it right here. I'll go back to the homepage so you can see when you're on the homepage where you would find it. It's this advanced search and filter. And if you click on it, you can filter by diet, dairy-free, diabetic, gluten-free, ketogenic, paleo, vegan, vegetarian, whole food, which is like Whole30. We have my cookbooks if you're familiar with them. We have cooking method. Like I said, we're just starting to add air fryer. We have tons of crock pot. We have grill, Instant Pot, oven, and stovetop. Those are those 15-minute meals when you're really short on time. Protein, beef, chicken, lamb. That's new. Pork, seafood. We're adding more seafood, turkey, vegetarian. And cuisine, American, Asian, Caribbean, Indian, Italian, Mediterranean, Mexican, Middle Eastern, North African, so many options. You could eat this every night of the week. And online classes. So if you've attended my classes or even this class and you want to see where the recipes are and make a new shopping list, you could do that here. And maybe the coolest thing is that you can combine these filters. Whoa, okay, so let's say we want a gluten-free recipe that can be cooked in the crock pot and features chicken. You can combine those and then search and find like the perfect recipe that you know your family is going to love. So let me show you some other features that I like. One of them are these recipe collections. Now, these are groups of recipes. I think of them as maybe like my recipe playlists. And everyone gets this favorite recipes collection when they join. These are ones that I've created. So I created a summer seasonal one, some that I make when chicken is on sale, when ground beef is on sale. I did a vegetarian Indian one for my very best friends. And meals to make next month. So these are my next group of meals to make. I'll show you how it works. In here, you have the recipes. You can adjust the servings if necessary. You could do more or less. And then this is where you would access a shopping list. So after I pick all my meals for next month, I'm just hitting this shopping list. And it auto-generates, like seriously, 1 second, the full shopping list organized by section of the grocery store, everything that I need. And if that wasn't enough, you can edit it. So let's say I'm going to make chocolate chip pancakes for my kids next month. It's like, okay, let's put chocolate chips on there. Or let's scroll down. I'm going to show you exactly how I use this. I would even add a group. So let's say we add household items, because I like to have one shopping list. I wanted to go to the grocery store one time and buy one thing. So let's get our tissues and add an item. Let's get toilet paper. And then I won't forget anything at the store. So I just go back to the top and I can stop editing this. I can save it. So then if I come back on here tomorrow, next week, next month on my phone, whatever it is, that is saved. And I will show you how to print it. So you can go ahead and print the shopping list. It has all the recipes, items. You could be crossing off items here or on the previous screen. But if you have some of these on hand and you don't need them, you can cross those off. And you can also print the recipes because you're going to need to know what you're making. These are really printer friendly. And they even include the label. You can cut here. It says cut label here. This would print on a separate piece of paper. And you could just tape this on your freezer bag, but it would tell you exactly what's in the bag and then how to cook it. So let's go back to the main page so I can just show you a couple things. This is your account section. It has your account info and it has all my ebook downloads. You get free access to all of those. And save the best for last, Family Freezer TV, because this is a full class library. What's up? All of my classes that I've taught, these are videos that you can watch on demand anytime you want. And if you click inside, you will be able to watch the video here. This is where you can play it. And it has a list of the recipes, even a link directly to the recipes. No checking your email. It's right here. It has all the recipes and the full shopping list and their printable labels and literally everything you need at your fingertips. Like, amazing, right? If you haven't joined yet, go to thefamilyfreezer.com/VIP because that is where you are going to join for a $97 sign-up fee for 1 year. You can use this over and over and over again this next 365 days to make freezer meals, to save money making freezer meals. And I just want you to scroll down, read more about it. You'll see everything I showed you during the demo, the new recipes every month, the full class library, all of our search filters, printable labels. You can read about what our members love about it, whether they love shopping at Costco or they love other stores. They're making meals for their children, their grandchildren, people from their church. They're on different diets. Again, just these meals really work for so many people in so many stages of life. The monthly recipes, these are those new recipes you're going to get every month. All of the VIP features, Family Freezer TV, the ebooks, downloads, printables, and FAQ. I tried to answer every question you could possibly have about VIP. So let's click join now. And again, $97. This is good for an entire year. I did the math. It works out to only $8.08 per month. I mean, how many times would you have to use this for it to be worth it? I mean, for a whole year, like maybe one group of freezer meals, two groups of freezer meals. I mean, it's just, you're going to use this over and over again, but it's really, in some ways almost a no-brainer because you're just going to save so much money. If you continue using it, you pay $49 per year. So if you want to keep using the site, it'll be $49 a year. Like I said, 365 days from now. If not, you go to my account, you go to my account info. Really easy to cancel. We don't want you paying for this if you don't use it. So cancel anytime. We only want the people who are super fans who love it like us. They're getting the most out of it. So we make it really easy. $97 to thank you for attending today. I am giving you a coupon code. We love saving money, right? Costco. Yeah. You enter coupon code Costco and you're going to save an extra 20%. So that one-time fee comes down to $77.60, works out to $6.47 per month. That's all you would end up paying for a full year. If you joined last month and paid $97, don't feel bad. Like, high five for jumping on that deal. If you join next month for $97, it's all good. You're gonna save money. Don't worry. Because the coupon code Costco is good for 2 days only. It's just a thank you for attending our class. It's a great deal if you can join today. I know someone's going to email me next week. They're going to say, do you have a sale? Do you have a coupon code? Unfortunately, we can only offer it during our classes. So please, this is your chance. Join for the $77.60. Okay, so I'll show you how you actually check out. You enter all your info. And what's most important is your email address. Double check it. I'm going to send you lots of tips for using the site. Your username and your password. You can log in today and start making freezer meals. So write these down. I don't want you to lose them. Username, password, because you're going to start making your freezer meals and just planning them. And I'm so excited for you to get started with this. So you click sign up and you're in.
Okay, so let's go right into a cooking demo. Let me grab my crock pot for you. So let's imagine we are grabbing a meal from our freezer, cilantro lime chicken. The directions are in here. It says cook in the crock pot for 4 to 6 hours on low. Now, if this was completely frozen, I would just run it under water so that the seasonings don't stick to the bag so you can get it out. I would just dump it in here, put the lid on, and then I have a programmable timer so I can go ahead and set it. So I would probably do 4 hours. I don't want the chicken to get dried out. If you have an issue with your chicken being dry and not good, it's probably because you're cooking it too long. So this one's really high powered. I'd do 4 hours, let it cook, forget about it, shred it and eat it. It might depend on your crock pot. So mine says you can add raw meat. If you can't add raw frozen meat, you would want to thaw this overnight in your refrigerator. But just really simple. And I'll show you how to cook it in your Instant Pot as well. Okay, now you can add raw meat to your Instant Pot, so I would be running this under water. I might need to break it apart a little bit to get it to fit in here, but you just dump it in, and then the Instant Pot directions say saute 5 minutes to release some liquid, flip it over, and then add a 1/4 cup water or chicken broth. This just helps it reach pressure, and pressure cook for 25 minutes. So we're gonna put this in there. We put the lid on. It's on sealing, and then I would just pressure cook, press the pressure cook setting, 25 minutes. Let it do a natural release. I think that makes the meat really tender. And then you would just open it up, shred your chicken, and serve. Like, it's really that easy. I just want to thank you for taking the time out of your day to be here. I really appreciate it. I have just a few final shout outs. Cheryl messaged me. I'm a member. Love this plan. I had chicken fajitas from the freezer. They were delicious. It really makes the day easier to have a nice meal ready to make. Carrie said, our family loves this plan. The recipe's been yummy and easy. I love having meals in the freezer ready to go. Thank you for a great membership. Thanks, Carrie. And Mary said, I can't thank Family Freezer enough for helping me make meal planning so much easier. I just did 12 freezer meals a few days ago for this month. I'm going to buy a small deep freezer so I can have more freezer meals prepped at once. My family of 5 with 3 boys loves them. Thanks, Mary. So I really appreciate that. If you have lingering questions, please email me. I check my email every day. I will definitely respond. I appreciate your questions. I appreciate your encouragement. I love when people send me these stories and say these meals are working for them. It really motivates me to just keep going, keep sharing. So thank you so much, and I will see you later.